Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Disney Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your Dungeon Master, August Schmidt, and as always, we have our wonderful Disney elites this time of the week. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, and of course, we do have the wonderful Rebecca playing Miss Bell, who will be portrayed through Pillow for now. But everyone is here. It's been a crazy fun time in Magentia as of late. Last we saw you guys in particular, Cadel fighting off this vampire, basically. Uh, almost, it's not like you took the battle from Adam, but very carefully, Adam letting Cadel fight, which ended up working great, putting an undead knight against a vampire.
Oh
Um,
yes, that was good.
well called, really. And so, with everything going down, you have been able to note that these vampires, again, the order of peace was in fact definitely against you. These were not just your normal knights. Someone has been sending people now to hurt and attack you, as well as something Cadel. Last we saw you, between like it's that Bell and Snow. Snow actually was the one who did more of the teleportation, sending you there. When the parties did convene in the Brethren Court, Cadel, you were sent as emissary for everyone here, to help make these god-slaying weapons. The biggest things of that encounter were we need to have a way to fight a god to make him mortal, and the parties were able to convene and make these weapons. So, Cadel, you have now a pouch, these six beautiful little sapphires, courtesy of Raya from Kumandra, where upon crushing, you can summon some of these items that were made. Some of the daggers, oils, ring, short sword, a variety of things depending on who needs what. And so, with this, Cadel, one of the last things you actually saw before completely disappearing, before the teleportation pulled you back, is the pirates were able to successfully vote on Jim Hawkins as the pirate lord. But, Cadel, something interesting with you, when you met the man known as Mr. Incredible, or Robert Parr, an intense burning hatred filled your mind. And were it not for the other parties using magic and just might to keep you separated, bad things may have happened on both accounts. Um, but what I will say is, Cadel, having that kind of stupor of thought as you sitting in this pirate room, feeling yourself transported back, we find ourselves back with this group. You see Adam and Belle are in this room, Snow is here, and Snow has just finished this, like, basically like a reverse teleport, just like sending you there, bringing you back, kind of like a yo-yo. And everyone's kind of looking at you expectantly. You see Snow just, well, what are the updates from the group?
Well, so what was happening with the pirates was that they were having a court deciding on whether to help us in our fight against Hades. So apparently, according to pirate politics, they had to vote for a pirate king to declare war. So one of the groups, his name was Jim Hawkins, was declared as the pirate king, and now we have aid with them. And then I'm gonna bring out like these six sapphires. I'm gonna give two of them to Belle and two of them to Adam. It's like these. Well, first I'm gonna ask, are we good to talk about this? Like, are we protected?
But yes, Snow has made her penthouse room like unscribable. Like, she's done some heavy work to this room to make sure you guys are free to talk here.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna give them these. It's like these sapphires. If you crush them, they will give us a god-killing weapon. We have only six weapons that we can use, though. One of them. So we have a short sword, a dagger, two oils, one arrow, and a ring. All of them god-killing weapons. We simply need to crush one sapphire.
Are the ring and the oils, as in like, how is that a weapon?
So the oil is like we can literally just like crush it and then spread it across whatever weapon we have. The ring technically is and I also want to confirm with August, this is technically the ring of plague. that Thumbelina still
Yes.
has, right?
It's the Ring of Plague now modified, so a lot of those old spells aren't there, some of that power, but now the power remains in you can make a ranged spell attack, or even for like someone like Mr. Incredible, you put the ring on and if you punch with it, the power is there arcanely to deliver this antidote, shall we say, for immortality. As well as what's important, yes, all of these weapons, they may actually have. It's one of those we won't know until we try. They may be definable in the sense of if you shoot the arrow and miss, it might lose its power. Or with the oil, right? You put it on your weapon, and after a couple attacks, it may not work anymore. So that is the give and take with a few of these weapons. Stuff like the dagger and short sword and ring are probably a little more obvious. But also, it's why multiple sapphires, because you could crush a sapphire, take the short sword, and someone else could go, oh shoot, I need the short sword, so sorry, but you have 2 sapphires. So they use their sapphire, take the short sword from you. It's to give a lot of synergy. So there's never once you use the sapphire and summon a weapon, it's gone. The instant summon spell has been really spread around, so no matter who needs what, you can get it. And you have 2 opportunities to get these weapons back. So you could even fire the arrow, instant summons the arrow back to you, right? Like with this sapphire. So it gives everyone a lot of different stuff they're allowed to do.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like an instant teleport of weapons between everyone then.
Yes.
Okay, that is a lot better, honestly, because I was kind of worried about that.
It had some people worried, and so I've been explaining to the groups, yes, these aren't. The only real downside is some of them may lose power, but you don't know how that would work, and so it's just. But there's easy ways to get them around to people. Awesome. Snow. Sorry, just real quick. Snow's actually going to take this, and she is going to excuse herself. She has a lot of meetings now, which is actually a fun fact. I think Belle needs to be present at these meetings too. It's the Council of Princess have a lot to do these days, but in a good way. So, Belle, Snow's just going to let you know she's going to head off down to this council meeting first, but you don't have to worry about coming for at least another half hour, 45 minutes, right? It's just Snow being the head princess right now has to be there first.
Sounds good.
So that leaves you guys to talk for a moment.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, because it's like because maybe some of the information I have might be a little important to what they need to know, especially because, I'm just going to tell like Val and Adam, okay, we have a couple problems though.
Okay.
You remember how Agatha told us that she forgot about the Ring of Death? She forgot where she put it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she lied about that and apparently tried to threaten one of the groups, I believe they were called the Lost Ones, literally threatened them upon death unless they gave it to her, and then they got it back from her. And another problem was that Mr. Incredible and I almost killed each other.
Oh, like the real Mr. Incredible, not the.
Yes.
Okay.
From what I understand, the fake Mr. Incredible has been taken care of by the group that the real Mr. Incredible was in.
Yay! That's good.
Yeah.
Why is Mr. Incredible trying to kill you?
Well, it wasn't just him trying to kill me. I tried to kill him.
Ah.
So with this, I'm still trying to understand this, but since this is honestly probably going to affect the mission, and I wanted to tell you guys this much later, because I wasn't expecting this for a couple of months, but this is now important. This is starting to affect the mission. So, from what I understand is that, I don't know if you know this, but from what I've seen, Mr. Incredible is a paladin to the god Ares. And he's gonna be saying this a little irritated at the name of Ares. And from what I've researched on my own, because my memory isn't completely there, I was also a paladin to him.
Ah,
And there's something else you need to know, because if we're going to be fighting against Hades, I want you to know, and so this won't be a surprise. Cato's going to take a few moments, like, just like he's going for his helmet, but he's also like, freaking out. So he's just going to take his helmet off, and, while his face starts to change, he's just going to say, I am a cauldron born.
Adam and Bell, you see, yes, the green glowing eyes kind of kept sunken into just a skull. But you're realizing that it is Cato. The voice still is his, everything is his. But yes, after a moment, you realize that natural subversive magic of the helmet, which keeps you from looking at the face, now lets you more fully center with the helmet being off. And you see, full Cauldronborn, this cracked skull with arcane magic kind of keeping it together, glowing green eyes. This is a full Cauldronborn.
Okay, so I mean, very quickly, Adam is kind of like, okay, we've got an undead in here, but at the same time, after that initial gut reaction of okay, I need to defend Bell or something, he's gonna look up at Cato, and you know what? I've worked with Stranger.
Okay.
Did you happen to meet Morph at all?
Oh,
So Morph is not sure what. A bubbling bubblegum pink floating thing.
Yeah, Cato, you met that.
I think I saw that, but I didn't realize that was a group member. I just assumed that was a pet. Okay, well, like you said, it's not the strangest thing here.
That being said, I've seen you help and defend us, and we've worked with you and fought with you. Morph was tended to summon demons to solve his problems. Felt a little less safe around him than you, and I guess it makes sense then why you never took off your armor. I'm glad I didn't try to heal you either.
Yeah, it's not something I usually like to discuss around everyone. But since we're technically fighting against the god of the dead, it probably is best that you know, and so it's not a huge surprise and becomes a huge distraction. But I will say, even though I said I was a paladin of Ares, I don't have that much of a memory about him. I recognize his voice. I recognize a lot of stuff, but I don't remember much of my past of when I was alive. It becomes these blurred images of bricks falling and cutting through flesh, but just mere moments and just names. That's all I remember. And the only thing I remember that was what I assume was my home is the name Ferris. That was a kingdom that was supposedly my home. But that is all I remember.
Well, hopefully we can help get you some of your memories back.
Is there anything that I can do, oracular vision wise, as a memory, let's take a trip into your mind for a second kind of thing?
Yeah, there in fact is. Fun fact, Belle, between you and Adam, and Cato obviously being the person, you could take a moment and just look. It's basically making that it's basically making an oracle check, a divinatory check using your intelligence proficiency. And it's you just need to beat Cadle's save DC. Which it's Cadle, you're already a willing creature, so it's already that like I'm allowing this to happen. And so yeah, if you want, you could try to divine some of the moments of his previous life. So yeah, please, Belle, go ahead and make that check. That'd be amazing.
Let's do that. So that is a 19, I believe.
And my
19.
spell DC is a 14, so I think that
That's
passes,
good.
yeah.
You guys are about to
Tens.
take a trip inside. Belle, you on one side, you put like one hand on the side of the skull. Adam, you on the other, and Adam and Belle, you both then take your hands together, making this loop through the mind. As you all watch, Belle, your eyes boom, glow blue, and the arcane light travels down your hand through the skull, meeting Cadle's green, swirling, becoming teal, going through up and around, meeting Adam, and Adam, your eyes then. This is something we've never really discussed. What would be your arcane color, right? Like, is there a color that maybe best represents your magic?
When I was cursed, it was more rose and red, but now that I've broken it, I see it more as gold.
Yes,
Ooh.
I agree. And so you get this great moment of just you see the blue and green and gold and green and blue all starting to swirl to make this beautiful white light that circles inward. And suddenly, you all find yourselves standing in a kingdom you've never been in before. This kingdom, in fact, is not on any map. This is what we would call Old Desanya. And so what I will give is, again, Belle, part of your vision, what's kind of like helping you with this is you're able to see more than just the moment you're at. You're able to divine a lot of other things, right? You're able to see like the place of the world we're in, maybe some other overlays of like who goes where. But in particular, what you guys are seeing in this old style of map, we're just gonna transform this to the screen real quick. Is this map? It is very different than what we know. Desanya, way back in the day, Magentia didn't exist. It was just these 5 major kingdoms that would fight for power. China was still there. There had yet to be a Great Wall. The Horn was this active volcano again, so freshly set after Chernobyl. We see that like even other active volcanoes erupting, that the orc and dwarven realms, that Scotland and England were barely starting to form out of the erosion of the sea. France, as we know it, didn't exist. It was a blop on a map. And zooming in, though, well into the dark forest, a clearing of the point of the kingdom of Ferris. Because what you all see is, again, it's full Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, right? Everything seems slightly out of color except yourselves. And you see a young man. We actually, Cadle, we're going to go through some bits of your life real quick here. As we see, Cadle, you know it's you. Young, no beard, yet very clean shaven, couldn't be more than 19 or 20. A young man kneeling at an altar of this warrior god, a man with a intense spirit aside this thing, a god that had yet to be truly named either. You see it, most of the markings in Old Desanian, Old Common, simply seem to mean the warrior or the champion. This man, seeing here, we see a young Cadle pledging to this. And I would ask Cadle, what would be some of your pledge at this moment? Like, or is there anything specific you would like, the oath you would have made? Is there anything you would have given in oath to this god?
Great. god of war, I kneel before you in defense of not only my family, but of my home. I make this oath so that I may better protect this place, and I give my life to you for the betterment of my kingdom, the kingdom of Ferris, and for the protection of all the innocents and all life.
You hear the rumbling in your mind. Swear this oath to protect and serve, to grow your kingdom, to fight, and only fight for the betterment of one's kingdom.
I swear this.
We now get, it's that very montage. Cadel with this power rising through the ranks easily, of from common soldier to heavy armor to like obvious general. We see the kingdom of Ferris explode in terms of just taking out, like, the forest again wasn't nearly as dense as it used to be back in the day, and so you see this kingdom growing through, trees falling, other nations even subjugating. We see Cadel, you would ride out and take some of these outlying kingdoms northward. The only places you weren't able to really take over, and it's kind of hard to tell with this map until I scooted over, like Agrabah and Egypt were already so major of kingdoms, it's hard to just take them. But like so many minor kingdoms, all under the rule of Ferris. We see this man taking this until we see a day, the Grand Kingdom. And for those that know the kingdom, we see an old style of kingdom with a castle not quite unlike an old style of Disney movie, but grand design, all these things. And Cadel, you are presented with the queen at the time. You see this woman, kind of like you have just given a bow, and we see a young Cadel as this woman just, General, once again we bring glorious word that you were able to bring more under our kingdom's rule and unite the world. As she kind of like waves her hand, she brings in this map, and you see that, yeah, Ferris has spread. What is the Dark Force is now Ferris itself. You see that growing through like all of these outlying kingdoms. Like Adam, you kind of see what would have been nations like France and Germany today are now very much like Ferris, right? Like it's spreading fast. And you see this woman just, it is good to know that we are mighty, even as mighty as the 5 central kingdoms. Cadel, as your young self, is there anything you would say in this moment?
It is good that we are mighty, though I do wish that they are treated with equality and fairness. We are strong, but we are not savages.
You see,
this is something we must convey to them.
Of course, we only bring what's good for others. Nothing can cause us to fall. And with those horrifying prophetic words, we see a swap. Cadel, you are on front lines as years later, word of Ferris's growth had reached the 5 central kingdoms. And Cadel, not only did the 5 central kingdoms fear this, they have started to unite against you, right? Another kingdom rising up and conquering. Egypt and Agrabah never were the ones to spread, like even the elves and dwarves, but the 5 human nations in Dizania, nations so old, lost to time, that their armies have started gathering at your doorstep. And Cadel, you know that even your armies at home have turned to dissension. So much has been taken over, and promises given by the queen never truly followed through in terms of equality and structure in the kingdom. In very Roman-esque sense, your empire is too big and not stable enough. So when these outside forces press in, Cadel, we see this now older, more grizzled heart, still with this blessing though of this ancient god, leading these armies pushing. But Cato, you're only one man. As we watch Cato, we see a rather horrifying glimpse of some of these people from your backstory. Fun fact. I'm actually pulling up their names here real quick.
I have their names too if you need them.
Perfect. Oh yeah, I've got some. Okay, sorry, I just didn't realize I didn't. Don't know where they all went. Please, yeah, some of their names. Sorry, like I know their faces and what they do, but I don't know where I put their names.
Okay. So we have Agnar, we have Aldara, we have Duncan, we have Captain Mira, and General Kador. And also, if he's still in there, King Nerevar.
Yes, we see Cato one by one. We watch years go by as the 5 central kingdoms push Ferris into a corner. We watch as everything pushes in. Mira dies protecting the bridge. Duncan is slaughtered in a scouting mission to try to save your home. You watch as Agnar, all of these closest friends and allies that you have slowly built over the years, gaining their trust, gaining their love, all being slaughtered while the royal family does nothing. The royal family sits by and lets this happen, and nothing improves at home, because just as much as the war effort goes so poorly, so does home. Ferris is crumbling. Rebellions are a daily occurrence, being put down by some of your other closest friends in the capital city, where people that should have been given right and rule and opportunity in this kingdom were treated as second-class citizens, naturally rising up to take and being stricken down by the armies, everything being pushed to this horrible breaking point. Cato, we see one last image. Ferris is on fire. We see an interesting thing. Cato, you are not on the front lines and you are not there, but we see, as the chaos, we see an older man in a home in a different part of this ancient city, clutching a woman and what seems to be a newborn child in her hands. And Cato, we see you escorting her as best you can, trying to get through the city again. Chaos, armies are marching in, people are marching in. And what you see, Cato, is before you're close enough to the gate, an explosion of fire and early magic at the Capitol building. Looking back, Cato, you feel your oath burn in your mind, and you hear those words, protect your kingdom.
I'm going to ask, was that wife and child my wife and child?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to look at them and I'm just going to say, Kara, you got to get out of here. Take Arthur out of here now. And then I'm going to touch Arthur's head and just tell him how much his father loved him. And then he's just going to give her a kiss and just until, and then just yell, go. And then I'm just going to book it back.
Booking it. No, it's hard to turn back. Immediately, Cato, you are met with wave after wave of enemy, knocking them back, using this natural might of this god. In your mind's eye, you see Kara and Arthur being taken out of the city or fleeing. And your mind, you see that horrifying similarity to Farah and Derek that you met in this city. You see the resemblance in your mind's eye. But again, you see this younger Cato, or excuse me, older Cato, does it. He is fighting his way. We watch Cato single-handedly, you get to the Capitol building, fighting up the stairway, cutting down enemy. And Minutes go by, hours go by. Cadel, you have been fighting for so long. Your muscles are burning. Sweat has all but lost its meaning to you, as you don't even think you're sweating anymore. Dehydration is imminent. Everything is going. You see these armies coming closer and closer and closer as you cut down each wave away from the throne room. You don't know where the royal family went. You don't know where anyone is. You don't know how anything has happened. Cutting them down, breaking every bone, every cutting sword through. And Cadel, you hear the voice of that old god. And you hear, "This is the way of a warrior. Join the forces that will win. Take what is needed and be better." And Cadel, I want you to roll me an insight check right now.
That is a 6.
A 6. There's still stuff you're getting, Cadel. It's that very natural. Your body's exhausted. Your mind's exhausted. Your magic, that mana, this energy of the god, as fresh as it always feels, is getting stale and hard to swallow. You turn and see the throne. This throne that has meant so much for your kingdom and now seems just as empty as the lack of person upon it. Cadel, I think you're realizing there's no one here for you. Your family is gone. Any sense of a royal family is gone. Your friends died over years of this worthless campaign, and all that these kingdoms want is this place destroyed. They're not going to stop hurting the people here until it's destroyed. The armies aren't going to stop killing until this place is destroyed. And with some of these thoughts, on a 6, that's what you're getting. You're not getting some of the bigger stuff, but you do hear in your mind, "Don't even think about it." And the god's words that for so many years offered you might and power seem bitter and vengeful in your mind.
So you wanted me to turn my back on my own people.
I want you to be the best. Find
So the best means to betray others, to have no loyalty to anyone.
Then you are a fool. Cadel, you feel the
And
power.
you are a coward.
The power's about to leave you. You feel you have like a second before this happens. Armies are still coming up the stairs. That next wave, that just trying to make it to the throne room. Cadel, what would you do in this moment? You have one last moment before your power's gone, before this everything is gone. What would you do?
You wanted me to walk the way of the warrior. I'm going to slowly draw my sword out, brace my shield. I have dug my grave in this place. I will either triumph or I will die. No pity, no remorse, no fear.
Sword hits shield, shield hits sword. Cadel, you feel the dagger that comes under your left side, the arrow that hits your leg, the shield that bashes upside, blood running down your face. The last thing that Adam and Bell you see holding this vision, Cadel cutting down every last enemy as hard as he can until the vision ends. We see then the final wrapping of the vision. We see a broken throne room. The throne was destroyed, but we see a knight, curved horns out of helmet in this protective stance, lying dead before the throne, sword and shield still in hand, armor bloodied and soaked into his body. And then we see that same night wake up in a field. Cadolin, you know this. This is outside of Corona. Your mind having finally gained its own semblance of peace. You see in the distance the explosion of the cauldron. We see the armies of Corona victorious. You look at yourself, and this is where the vision ends. Because Cadol, as you know, when you woke up, or I shouldn't say woke up, when you gained your consciousness back, you went on with your life. You found your way to Sumani. You did these things. Adam and Bell, you see this vision as we are now back in the kingdom of our time. And Cadol, for the first time in a long time, you have now knowledge of what truly happened to you.
Riddle's just gonna slowly fall to his knees, like, just broken after that.
Horned helmet, underarm, this skeleton. Adam and Bell, you see this. Cadol's just on his knees.
I'm gonna try to consult him a bit and just kind of put my hand on his shoulder, but I'm not gonna say anything to him.
I think after a moment or two, just in the silence, eventually Snow knocks on the door. And Belle, you know it's that natural. You have to go help now, being now a Council of Princess member. But Snow doesn't say anything. Again, Cadol being down. Whether Snow doesn't immediately recognize, because again, you do have that magical warding of sight for your helmet. So you're not sure if Snow noticed or maybe just isn't saying anything. But eventually meetings conclude, the days wrap up, and as this day goes on, I would then ask the three of you, there's a lot that can be done or a lot that can be said. What would you like to do?
The biggest thing is just next steps. I'm glad that we got Cadol and his memories back. That's great. Sad that they were so hard, but I think moving forward and will be kind of the good next step.
You see Adam, Cadol, after again, Bell, after you come back, nothing crazy with the council, Bell. It's just again more, it's now a bureaucracy of, well, this is, what do you think is best for kingdoms, or what laws should we better enforce? But as you all then find time to reconvene, there's a lot you could do to help in just stuff. You know that in short, what you have access to is stuff like, how do I want to put this? You have, of course, the knowledge that Cruella is out there hiding somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That she has sent people after you, but that in total, it's hard to find any big stuff against her. But you know you were looking for other missing persons.
Yeah.
And so what's important to note, you never heard back from the Scaleston sheriff about missing persons, that no one ever has come yet to greet you. And so you can do with that what you will. But that as this is going through, both Ursula is out there, that all the parties right now are, again, what we've done with the other parties, everyone's starting to get that, what do we do before we go fight? Is there last enemies we should take out? Is there items we should get? Is there things we should do? And so beyond that, this is where it can be a very natural, what would be first on the list for you guys to start thinking of? Because it's just as much as, well, yeah, we've got the god weapons and the rings are quote unquote taken care of, there's still a lot we can do.
There's a couple things Caleb could do.
Mhm.
since technically we're amassing more armies, and him being technically a skeleton knight, he could call on some of his old Cauldron-born buddies.
Yeah.
And also like maybe get a few javelins, because that was what I was supposed to get earlier. I think I should actually get some more ranged weapons.
Something that you could throw every so often is helpful, honestly. That's pretty smart. Yeah, Cadel getting some Cauldron-born, trying for that.
I guess I do want to follow up on the Sheriff of Scaleston and see what's keeping him, but also we need to contact Cogsworth and see if everything's going okay there.
Yes. In which case, those are good things to start with, right? It's like, let's figure out what's going on in France, follow up with Scaleston, and getting some Cauldron-born, which is something that, yes, Cadel.
Since technically the Knolls aren't under control of the fake Mr. Incredible. It's going to be hard because it's just like they're technically counted as desirables and in Sumani, but maybe there's one or a couple in there.
Yeah, I think it's something that what we'll do is, Cadel, if you want to make me an investigation check, it's like on the way to Scaleston, let's talk to Merc, the sheriff, like let's see what he knows or like what happened to him, and go and on the way it's just kind of like, what can we find on the way?
Well, I got it too, so
oof. Yeah. Cadel, it's unfortunate, at least for this first part of the day going through, hard to find people. Because also, it is that natural. Cauldron-born Knolls, they're undesirables right now. It's hard for people to trust and want to be around these things, because after everything with Mr. Incredible and Cruella's smear campaign, it looks really bad. But eventually, you guys do quickly find yourselves back to Scaleston. I should say now, much faster, as Belle, you have all rights, powers, and privileges with being a princess councilwoman. So you can literally just have a taxi service wherever you want now. It's pretty cool. You can just ask. So instant travel through Sumani City, where going through, we eventually find our way back to the outer reaches of Sumani towards these townships. In Scaleston, what's interesting, you guys will find the house that the sheriff is known to be. The sign that was on the door in Draconic of, be back, is still there.
Is he one of our missing persons?
It's been 48 hours, according to United States legal police. Yes. But yes, that is it's been 2 days almost since we've had a chance to come here, and the sign is still up. So, though, when the sign was put up, it was fresh. I'll remind, the last time you were there, someone said, oh yeah, he was here and put that up, but never came back, it looks like.
Let's see. I guess he's not familiar to us. I was gonna try a locate creature, but we're not familiar with the sheriff.
Yes.
Would you technically have something on him that would be generic enough, but for a Scaleston sheriff, technically? Because he's in the jurisdiction of Sumani, but
if you guys, as a group history check, it's what do sheriffs have?
Yeah.
The guard of Sumani have certain items. So it's for the outer townships, what would sheriffs have, or these minor people? That's something that definitely people can do.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
That was investigation.
Correct.
All right. That was a 9.
Ooh.
That's a 29.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay, investigation. That's a 9.
I love Cadel and Adam sitting there thinking, Belle, you just went over this yesterday in the updating of sheriff's badges that we issue out to townships. Do we change the color from yellow to blue, or would that make them unrecognizable? Yeah, Belle, you have that perfect, oh yeah, each sheriff has this badge that they get. because it helps to be like, hey, we're recognized by the city of Sumani itself to enact a law out here, right? We don't need the guardsmen out here. So yeah, that's an object that he would probably naturally have.
Okay, cool. So with that description for Bell, like, okay, that's great. I'm going to cast Locate Object.
Hey, there we go. Adam, casting Locate Object, you are finding that there is no object within 1,000 foot of where you are here. But of course, this is the outer city. But having this locate object, if you were to try to keep it up or start moving, this eventually might get you a lead, if that makes sense.
Okay. So it does only last for 10 minutes. Would I be able to upcast to make it last for longer?
Yes, I think kind of like locate object, and what was the other one? Water breathing that Bell did, the other session. I think that's a perfectly upcastable where, let's see, 10. If you were to upcast it to a 4th level spell, that would give you an hour. Okay. 6th level, I would give you 8 hours. And I think I would cap it at 6 because after 8 hours, it's like that's a lot, right?
Right, yeah, definitely.
If we want to, and also like to keep you being the beast a secret, I could get you maybe, I don't know if all of us could go on Philip or just you on Philip and just flying around the city to see if hey, we got a thing on something.
That could be good.
Because as fast as taxi services, Philip can fly through the air and avoid all traffic. Yeah, you would be able to go much, much faster.
I like that. If Philip can take us all.
Philip could probably take 2 of you comfortably. Again, Pegasi are larger creatures, right? So if 2 of you want to go on Philip, that's acceptable.
I mean, I was thinking because technically Philip also has the form of a great eagle, but I feel like a Pegasus is a lot less scary than that.
Natural intuition there, Cadel. An eagle could get all of you, but a giant flying eagle through the city might cause a bit of a stir. That's a fair point to make. So yeah, on the Pegasus form, 2 people, but if you want to try an eagle, you could get all of you.
Well,
I could also
wait, sorry?
I could also make someone small. I could reduce someone and then we have a small person.
That would actually, shrink one of you just a little pocket size, and then all of you would fit on Philip easily. So I guess the question is,
look at each other and just go.
No. Well, technically, Cadel, you don't have a nose. So can you truly? No. I'll just ask. Is there anyone who would want to or feel more comfortable being the one that would be shrunk? Anything like that?
Let's see, how long are we shrinking for?
Oh, it might only be a minute or 2.
Ooh, yeah. Because that's also a heavy concentration of a minute. So it would be hard to upcast something like that, right?
I also have locate object if we need to recast it too. So yeah.
That's true.
1 minute.
Okay, that's a duration of 1 minute. Maybe if I were a standard druid, I could transform into something small, but I am not a typical druid.
In Disney, no, of course not. You gotta be something cool. Here's what I say, because you could do, if it works, you could do 2 like Adam and Bell on Philip, because Cadel, you could have your locate object and be on the ground. Because that way someone's going faster, but Cadel, it's that I'm not trying to encourage splitting the party, I promise. But hey, we'll take this way because it's faster and there's more ground to cover. Cadel, you're on foot, so it takes longer, but you can cover this other area that just would take longer to get to, if that makes sense.
I'm fine with that idea. And I feel like Adam and Bell should be together as much as possible because, it's Adam and Bell, and also separates the mixity.
And also death threats. Yeah, it's
Yeah, definitely not splitting us apart.
Yeah.
smart. In which case, what I will say then is with locate object, everyone is going to give me investigation checks with advantage now. You're using spell work, you're taking the time, you're really stopping going, and it's technically a group investigation. So even if you don't do great, it might add together to help the group.
Jeez, both these rolls sucked. Okay, 5.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the first one was a 4.
Oh, we have advantage.
Yes, advantage.
Okay, right. I rolled a 4.
Oh gosh. Yes, advantage. You're using locate object and really
Yeah, there we
search
go.
it.
That's a 15.
15,
And another 29 for me.
29. Bell is carrying. So 20 plus the 29, altogether 49 beats the DC check. Yeah, you had to add up. I'm starting to do group checks more and more. It's like the addition of everyone's points is what matters rather than pass fail. As you are all going through, after a moment, Bell and Adam, you get a ping for half a moment. You are over some of the greater business skyscraper districts, those blue buildings on the map. And as you stop, the reason you stop, Bell, is you have a slight oracular moment of this place felt important. And when you did that, again, stopping on Philip just for that half second, when you start descending, Adam, you got just the faintest ping on your locate object. But what you quickly realized, it was going down.
Oh gosh, he's a paid cop. Gosh dang.
As this happens, Spirit going down. So, and again, it won't take long. Again, Cadel would eventually meet up, so you guys can easily just that sharing of information and messaging, of course, just in that like, hey, we found it. What you guys come to is an old abandoned building. Again, not every building in Sumani is usable because there's always upkeep that needs to happen. But this building seems like it's been closed for a couple of years. And specifically, what seems rather interesting about this is that everything on the outside seems to be officially closed off. Like this looks like police closed off, if that makes sense.
Well, we have a member of the Council of Princess, and
Yeah.
If the police have a problem with us kind of trespassing, then I think we have enough reason to go in.
Can I just like bippity boppity, here's a drafted thing, like a warrant to search this building?
Bippity boppity, yes. Let alone being, again, Councilwoman Bell, you have access. Like, it's something that unless other councilwomen like vote against you, which is so unlikely, right? It's hard to tell other councilmen not to do stuff, right? If you are going somewhere, investigating, doing stuff, can't do much. As long as you're not actively like breaking a law, like Bell, if you were to start like a fire or start hurting people, yeah, you could get arrested. But like, it's almost that diplomatic immunity of, hey, I'm a princess from France, a queen actually, and I'm doing this in order of protection of the law. And so as long as you're not going to actively, there's technically nothing wrong with you guys entering in. Good heavens. Entering in, again, Adam and Cadel, your locate objects are starting to get thin, shall we say. You're starting to notice this spell is running low on time.
Yeah, I cast it for an hour.
And so it's the natural, as you enter into this building, you realize that a lot of things look different. Like this place looks like it was raided in the police sense of someone came through, things have been overturned. Yes, they were put back, but rather haphazardly, because even as you feel the ping drop even lower, again, being on the ground, being in the building, suddenly, wait, was that an object going ever lower? You then realize looking around, that there is a giant cracked out hole in the side of the wall that looks like it was once a secret entrance, but someone busted through it at one point in time.
Okay. I guess so with that, if it seems like he's going down from the outside, you said this is more of like a shack type building, right?
Excuse me. This is a skyscraper. It looks like at one
okay.
point it was meant to be like a office building, but has been like condemned, but by official officers.
Okay, gotcha. So in that case, I would expect an elevator somewhere, and I might go check to see if there's an elevator or other type of typical method of descending down into any basements. Though
Yes.
Adam has a sneaking suspicion that it's probably not him walking around the under basements.
Adam, what you realize is eventually it doesn't take long, you find what seems to be an elevator. But what seems rather odd, shall we say, the elevator is saying that you are on the lowest level. It's that natural, like, hey, this says that we're supposed to be here, if that makes sense. And so then it's well, obviously there's something lower, but you're not sure what.
Right.
And that's just what it looks like with the elevator. If you want to investigate or do stuff, there might be something. But as of right now, you're on the lowest floor. This is the lowest lobby of the building.
Let's see. So if it's abandoned, go for it.
sorry.
No, go for it. I'm thinking.
Okay. I kind of want to investigate around the elevator, even though my investigation's been pretty low. Still want to try it.
Yes, please do.
I don't know if this kind of doubles over, but I also want a divine sense just to make sure there's nothing like bad in there, or maybe like, oh, there's something creepy down there, like, hey, we just found hell or something like that,
Oh, heck yeah. No, I mean, in this world, that's smart. Divine sense, yeah, Cadel, you are thankfully the only undead. And there are no fiends, nor are there celestials. Whatever might be close or around here is either none of these or you're alone. And tell me what you get on that investigation.
That's a 15. Finally,
Hey, much better. Cadel, you are starting to realize that there might be this elevator is actually in conjunction. You're realizing there's something not completely right with this elevator. Natural building plans. The elevator should in fact have another way down, if that makes sense. But whatever's like going on right now for you, like in looking at this, you're not sure where that would be. But building planning, the way this is lining up, is it's kind of like, hey, this elevator seems to go through the side of the building like most elevators do, and yet the positioning of this elevator is like perfectly in the middle of the building now. And so why wouldn't it be on the side? Like, where is the like gears and levers for it? Because if the rest of the floors go up this way, and yet this elevator isn't put in the right spot.
I want to relay that kind of information to Adam and Bell. It's just like, this one is a lot different compared to like normally how elevators are situated.
I want to cast detect magic and see if there's something covering stuff up that we can't
Heck yeah.
magically.
Detect magic. Super smart, really. Bell, what you are able to realize is there is strong illusion magic covering the panel of the elevator.
Can I kind of feel around and see if I can like feel a down button or like a lever or
Very quickly, what you realize is it's a simple button that with just a slight illusionary spell, it keeps people, because you're not going to like press random parts of a condemned elevator. Bell,
Why not?
using that detect magic, you feel the knob that when you click it into place, and like with most of these old elevators, you can pull the lever and it will take you all downwards.
Cool.
Upon
I will
going,
say,
yes,
I do want to be closer to the door because it's just like, I'm technically, the most armored out of everyone, so I should be in front. So, yeah.
yes. So when the door opens, it looks like this, right? So like Adam and Bell are behind, and when it opens, you're ready to hop out. You see, Cadel, that the door seems to descend for a long, long, long ways. That after finally some time, it doesn't ding, but you all feel that boom as you've hit a ground floor.
Okay. Cato's gonna draw his sword, and wherever the button is, I'm just gonna like hit it and just stay ready with my sword.
You hit that button, click that knob, the doors open into pitch blackness.
Is it a magical pitch black?
It is not.
I have dark vision.
Yeah. So, Cadel, you're able to see in a very black and white kind of sense of like, it feels like dim lighting. All of you look through, and Cadel, you're realizing that every so often there are these giant stone tunnels that lead, and out in the darkness, boom, you see Ursula, this woman. As she looks at you, she immediately takes off into this tunnel, and right before she exits through, something slightly changes with her. Some sort of magic seems to grow, and she into the tunnel and disappears.
Okay.
So, we can't see. I can't see in the dark. Does Ursula have any like arcane glow or stuff around her that we were able, like a luminescent fish?
That's what's terrifying. No.
Okay.
She
Oh my
was like
God.
in the pitch blackness herself, and well done, Cadel, for seeing her, because she would have tried probably sneak attack you or something right when you guys popped out. But noticing that passive, like, oh, you see me, I see you, she just took into one of these tunnels.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell him like Ursula was here and she just went to that left tunnel, left side forward, left side tunnel.
Yes.
And as a party, I'm gonna ask, do you guys have any way of making light?
I can cast daylight.
Yeah, you can.
So that would that'd give me an hour of light, but that would also very, very clearly announce our presence to literally everything else, because that gives us a 60-foot sphere of light.
Mhm.
I could just cast a fireball and hold it.
That works.
Whatever
And I guess
works.
it's ready to throw at someone at any given moment.
Let me actually turn
That's
this
a
on.
little bit more dim, but
I didn't consider bringing a flashlight.
It's an issue. Yeah, like, hey, we got to find this guy. We follow him, and oh, shoot, like, wait, we need flashlights. So yeah, you could cast daylight. That would give you stuff. Yeah, Bell, if you were to use like stuff like fireball, firebolt, just a sustained light, it just then it's that like tough. When you want to cast another spell, you would drop it and do another spell. So it's not like, ooh, would you feel comfortable in the darkness with like letting go and casting something else? It's a bit of a give and take.
If you need me, I can just like, hey, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and all that sort of stuff. I can like point out for you if you need it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's basically offering that help action, Cadel, to say like, hey, if you're trying to attack or saving throws, you could give that. But again, Cadel, then it's at the opportunity cost of you wouldn't be able to really attack because you're sitting there going, oh, let me keep this going through for them, and then you're using your turns to keep them safe.
Which at the same is honestly like my whole objective too, because it's just like with my fighting style, I can at least like protect them as long as they're 5 feet not beside me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I think I would prefer having some kind of light so that we can see and help out as well. That way we don't get blindsided from behind. You can't keep a 360 view.
That is true. Yeah.
One thing I guess with daylight or something, daylight's cast on an object and it just makes it glow, and so we can partially cover it to obscure it some.
Yes, I should say. So yeah, if you were to cast it on like an object, you could like put it under a cloak or into your shirt
and try to
I have
shine.
a spell for that, I think.
Oh,
You have a what?
I think I have a spell for that actually.
Oh,
Let's see. Okay.
you could do your fireball.
So it's called darkness, which is just like if we point at like something, it casts like a magical darkness over like say if we need that light. And
yeah.
you know it will cover it if it needs to.
Okay.
But it is a concentration for about 10 minutes, so
Okay.
It would
And-
be the opportunity cost.
Yeah, and I mean the spell description does say that if we completely cover it with a opaque object such as a bowl or a helm, then we can block the light completely. Or we can go the torch route, the blue torch route with the prepped fireball.
If you want to. Yeah, I would say like it's kind of your guys' choice. No wrong answer.
Do we want to be able to see it more or less? Because the fireball will just be like, we're sneaking,
Yeah, and
sneaking
anybody
around.
and people would be able to kind of see that light. Maybe let's just go daylight. They
That's what
see
I'm
us and we can
thinking.
see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
because Ursula saw us of all people, so it's
Ursula.
Oh yeah, Ursula saw us. Excuse me.
I love that. No, who is that? Oh no, it's her.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Sorry.
That's perfect. No, I love that. Like someone's in there. Okay, don't worry. Ursula already saw us anyway. What?
It's
in
like,
which case,
oh yeah, that creepy witch lady with tentacles. Yeah.
the fog isn't going to do much. Again, daylight spreads again 60-foot race. It is so helpful. And all of you see again, there are these 4 stone tunnels that lead kind of into the dirt, or excuse me, into further stone, shall I say? Where going through, you know that Ursula, like Cadel, you saw that Ursula went through this one right here, and so it's that like whatever was Ursula, whatever happened magically to her, went through here.
Do we still have our locate object kind of pinging?
I will say, I will give you the last, yes, as both your locate objects, it's that final like, ooh, as it ends, the locate object ends, and you think it's coming through this tunnel.
Okay.
I do feel like Ursula is trying to distract us, though. So maybe it could be a good idea going through there, but she does have one of those silver rings, so it's just like,
Maybe if we can get in. And get out. We found kind of a secret lair
concern is that Merrick's in on it now. So it's just like I do want to see, but either he's just literally he was either being dragged away or he's in on it. So I think investigating on Merrick would be a good idea. So
Okay.
yeah.
So follow after him then, and
Because either we can find him and I can teleport us all out of there and we can come back later to investigate some more after we have, like, if he's in danger after we've gotten him to safety, or we are just walking into a trap anyway, so.
Right.
following Ursula. Not sure that's going to be. Yeah, let's just go down to Merrick.
Okay. Also, can I make an investigation check about if there's like pieces of wood, say we wanted to use like a torch in case we didn't want to constantly use like fireball or
Yes.
something like that.
Please do. Yeah, like in case daylight gets knocked out, in case of who knows what. Yeah, making sure you have stuff.
Okay, so I got a 16 for that.
16 for that. Excellent, excellent. You find actually, Cato, and what you're realizing, this place seems to have been an old abandoned sewer system. This is again some of the old tunnels that run deep under Sumani City. You find some driftwood actually pretty easily because you're realizing water has since cut off a lot of these layers, but debris is still apparent. In finding this, you guys head down this first tunnel and eventually find yourselves popping out. Let me just there we go. Out of here, more crackstone. You think you're another layer over, and there's not much besides just another tunnel at the end of the room. But once again, the locate object, and this is the last room I'll give for the locate object, seems to come from that further tunnel.
Well,
If there's
Shall we?
nothing, go for it.
no, I meant shall we? As in shall we go forward? But if you got anything else.
Yeah, if there's nothing else apparent in this room, then maybe we go through that far tunnel and maybe there's something unapparent in this room. But
Yeah, if you want to investigate the room, you can, or you could just go through the tunnel.
I think I'll kind of glance around and look to see if there's anything in the room, but I'm not gonna stop.
Give me a quick perception or investigation. One of those quick, let's do a quick clock the room.
Cool, perception.
Check as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 21 perception.
Well done.
That's an 11 perception.
Cadel, hard to see much, but Adam, there is some form of track. As you're walking along the room, you're realizing that something here has made an interesting style of markings that seem like no normal based animal, right? There's no claw, there's no paw, there's nothing. There's not even footprint, which is what maybe you think to expect in this room, but nothing in there. As you guys come out this final room here, you see that inside this room is a lot of standing water. And upon entering in, I would love everyone to go ahead and give me perception checks.
And then another 11.
Another 11. Excellent.
18.
18.
30.
30.
The natural 20.
Hey! In which case, you will not be surprised, as Cadel and Bell, I need dexterity saving throws, as something is grabbing your ankles.
I wonder who it is. 18. Oh wait, I got a +2 to that.
That's an 8.
8. Oof. You
That is a
see
20.
a synth 20 and 8. Suddenly, Adam, you realize what's going on as the markings on the floor didn't seem normal. Everything, they were sucker markings. As
Oh,
Bell is dragged hard under the water. Cadel, you succeed on synthetic 20.
can I reaction grab her?
Ooh, like interceptive fighting?
In a way, yeah.
What I'd allow, Cadel, is it would be you getting taken instead. Because there's no real way to intercept, because this isn't like a damaging thing, it's just a grab thing. So if you were to intercept and take it, you would get dragged instead.
Screw it, I'm doing it. I'm not letting these two get separated. I'm doing my job, okay?
I believe in Disney ships. I'll do this.
Well, that thing has sailed for a long time.
Bell, as you feel Cadel already taking that butt, goes, boom, shoo, gets sucked under the water.
Oh gosh. It's better me because I don't have to breathe.
It's true. Yeah, Cadel doesn't have to breathe underwater. Because rising up, you see Bubbles first form. As this bubbling mass appears. And slowly, tentacle and personage vroom, rises out of the water. You don't see Cadel at all. But you see this woman just, excellent. You fell for it. Appearing in one of the tentacles out of the water, a full lizard folk, completely unconscious, boom, boom, gets thrown to the side by her. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ace. Oh, and that is for everyone here, that is a +3. And
Yeah.
I should have another aura, if I'm not mistaken. Frick.
Dang it.
So I guess this was going. I wanted to do this at some point. I did want to cast free as we entered the water. I did want to cast freedom of movement on
Yeah.
someone. Okay. I guess I was going to cast it on Bell, and I guess I'm not sure that I could have tapped Cadel as he was being pulled under.
With freedom of movement, the way that spell is worded, maybe.
I guess it would probably just be Bell at this point. We didn't have tons of time in here already.
And you know what I'd say? It's you were casting on Bell because it's like, oh no, she's getting taken, casting it, and Cadel takes the tentacle instead. That makes sense. So Bell, no difficult terrain, spell magical effects, can't reduce your speed or cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. Dang it. Automatic state, non-magical.
It's a +3, yeah. But still, it's a +3.
Yes, +3. So what is everyone's initiative order then?
12.
That is a 16.
16, 12,
17.
17. Bell, you act barely before Ursula. Oof.
Oh.
In this form, she's not as dexterous. I had to remember that. As you both got a 17, but your dex is higher. So Bell, you see Cato, boom, gets taken under. The lizard man gets thrown out. You see Merrick just thrown into this wall down here. What would you like to do, Bell?
Yikes. I need advice here for a second. Do I that or do I?
Maybe don't earn because this one might catch Cadel and stuff as well.
I have no idea.
Though if you need to do both, then you can upcast.
I'm gonna go big or go home, and I'm just gonna start off with a disintegrate.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm a beefy guy, so when it hurts me, I'll hopefully it'll be fine.
Yes, I will say, Cadel, what would have been really sucky to have to deal with suffocation and blind underwater, you're fine. She's going to make a dexterity saving throw. I wish she had better dex. Does she have... Oh, she doesn't. Dang it. And Belle, you're with a 19... she succeeds on a synthetic 21. Still rolled really well because again, bigger monstrosity. As so she will take half damage still from this.
Okay. My
6.
2d6.
Eight.
10.
Cool.
That's a lot of dice.
So many dice.
Disintegrate is just broken sometimes.
And I love it.
Gosh.
Ooh.
That's a lot of sixes.
That is a lot of sixes.
Oh no. I'm glad she saved on the saving throw.
44
Plus 40.
So that's 84.
Oh my
Past to
gosh.
42.
No, so fun fact, she still takes all the damage, but you have to fail on the save or get disintegrated if you die. Is kind of how the spell works.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Disintegrate is, there's nothing that says you have it. It's just if you fail and die from it, you disintegrate, right? Like it's as far as I understand that spell, it is like it deals the damage, but you want them to fail to try to kill them. Ursula, though, immediately takes a ton of damage. All of this tentacle and portion dissolves into gray ash as bubbling, just like flesh and mass try to reconstitute around her. Gosh, Belle. Immediately you see this woman just like she shrieks, rocking this cavern. And she looks horribly pissed off. At which point she is going to then use two legendary actions, excuse me. I didn't realize it cost 2. I need everyone to make me another dexterity saving throw. Cadel, this will be a disadvantage for you as you are grappled right now.
So how does the disadvantage work exactly?
Disadvantage means you roll and take the lower number. Roll twice, take the lower number.
Okay.
And important to note, Cadel's the only one gets that +3 right now because Cadel's now farther away with what she just did.
Oh wait, I'm forgetting about so much about my auras right now. I do also have my aura of hate. I know that.
Yeah.
So that's oh my gosh.
You can swim the water. So you should be fine.
Where's
I got a natural 20.
Holy cow. Dang it, Adam.
These dice love me tonight.
Fine.
Oh, come on. Dude, I just rolled a natural 20. I have to take the lower one of that. Come on.
As if you were out of the water, Cadel, you think it would help. Belle, what did you get?
Okay, that was an 18. Okay.
18. Cadel and Belle, you both fail.
Oh,
Adam, you succeed, and on a natural 20, Adam, you realize purple electricity crackles from the tentacles as this woman just, die, little heroes. And Adam, you look down at the water you are standing in and have enough foresight to standing jump out. Adam, you will then take the normal 26 half to 13.
Okay.
Cadel, you take 26, and as the electricity hits the water you're in, it doubles. So, Cadel, you take 52 points of damage.
Oh.
gosh.
Bell,
Okay.
as well as you, 52 points of damage. As not just these lightning bolts, she throws these 3 purple lightning bolts arcing towards each of you, and looking down, boom, hits in the water, making you vulnerable right now, standing in this water.
Dad, can I reaction cast Hellish Rebuke when I take that damage?
Yes, you can. Fun fact, you can. She's got to make a dex save. That is a success, so she'll take half damage from it, but still 3d6 of fire damage.
3d6. Okay. I'm looking through.
So you have to move it.
I'm just okay.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, so I've noticed sometimes easier is to just do it through a computer when you have a lot of dice, because you're like, ooh, just do this number for me.
So 3d6.
Yes, sir.
That is an 8.
8. Ursula takes 8 damage, and all of you realize, I will ping it for you now, because now you realize Cadel is right here next to her. It's so hard to tell because of the water, but all of you see that fire burst out of the water. So I will say, Cadel, you are hidden no more, but you are trapped underwater. As 8 damage to Ursula. She's looking hurt, but that makes her official turn as this happens. Coming in, she is going to bring over, actually away from you guys. You realize, Cadel should have been taken along with you. Yeah, Cadel is in a tentacle right now. As she takes her movement to get farther away, Cadel, here come a lot of tentacle attacks against you, my guy.
Oh my gosh.
Excuse me. You're in the tentacle. She's gonna try to bite you. She's gonna try to just swallow you. So here we go.
Gosh, as if the tentacles weren't weird enough. Gosh dang.
Cadel, on a natural 2 for a total of 9, you feel your shield come out, boom, and under the water as she tries to put you into this gaping undermaw of her tentacles. She fails. Oh my gosh. That was her full turn.
Oh my gosh, thank you that it fails.
As if you got swallowed, that would have been so much damage being eaten by this creature.
Yeah,
Cadel,
that would not be good.
That's so much. Cadel, that is your official turn then there, my friend.
Okay. Oh, we're playing this way. All right. Well, I'm going to cast 3rd level Inflict Wounds. She's going to take the Oathbreaker Paladin right now.
Oh my gosh. Please make a ranged spell attack. Yeah, you add right now +9 to this. You just got to hit her AC.
Okay, so +9.
Correct.
Okay.
My gosh.
Oh, right. It just rolled. Can I roll it one more time? I'm sorry.
Please do. No, you're fine. You're
So
fine.
it's just like I just tilted it barely, and it's just like, oh, great.
Oh, I do that all the time where I'll look at something and I'll hit it and go, what was it? Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. That is a 16, and that's a +9, yeah?
Yes.
Or no, excuse me. No, that is with the +9. Excuse me. I don't
Oh,
want to
with the +9.
Yeah.
That does not hit the armor class as you whip this spell, boom, trying as best you can, and it fails against her. Once again, no checks for suffocation or constitution saving throws because you're fine underwater, thankfully. But it is that tough. The more she tries to hit you, the more it's going to be harder. I actually just realized, Cadel, you were grappled. She has to make her attack against you with advantage.
Oh.
This could be really bad.
Okay. I do have a second attack though.
Yes, and Cadel, holy cow, I just rolled a 1. So on a 1 or a 2, she doesn't bite you or swallow you. So go ahead, you have a second attack. You did already use this spell, so the second attack can only be something like the sword.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, sword attack. That's a sword and shield. Okay. All right. Yeah. So just using the sword and shield. And if that works, I'm doing a blinding smite. I'm giving everything to the thing.
Smart, yeah, like pump it in there.
That is a 27.
27 hits.
Okay.
Definitely on a 27. Go ahead, pump in. Unfortunately, she's not an undead or fiend, so you won't add in the extra D8. But you're still adding in your normal D10 plus your strength plus the smite D8s.
Okay, so it's a D10 and
Should be 3d8 if you're putting in a blinding smite. So it's a d10, 3d8 plus your strength. Okay. Well done. And she's going to have to make a con save against being blinded. Oh, dang it. Come on. No.
Dude, that is 22.
22 points of damage to Ursula. And Cadel, what's your spell save DC?
That is a
3 plus proficiency plus
14.
8. 14?
Yeah.
On a natural 1, the second natural 1 of this fight, she fails and is blinded until your next turn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Come on. Adam, that makes your turn. That bottom of the order again, this very fast turn. So you see, boom, Kato's been taken out, Bell slings disintegrate, the lizard man is in the water, and you know it is your turn, as you just did that like impressive jump up, down to like not get electrocuted.
Okay, so I don't really like that electricity running through the water, so we're gonna do two things. I'm going to cast Foresight on Bell.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I don't want her getting hit too hard.
Can be surprised, advantage attack. Oh my gosh, Belle just has advantage on this. Jeez Louise.
She gets advantage on basically everything, and everything has disadvantage on her.
Just the other creature.
So it's not a concentration either, so that makes it that much better.
That's the best use of a 9th level spell, honestly. That is so smart.
Okay. And then from there, I am going to Beast.
Adam,
the bonus action Beast.
You completely feel just giant beast form appears. You've gotten stronger. Boom.
And I am going to pull Belle out of the water and take flight.
Heck yeah. You both, boom, immediately are up in the air. Just on that movement spell, beast form. As this happens, flying in the air, this woman is going to take her legendary action. You see Ursula looking around by and just screaming, "Ah! You fools! You would be better to die with me than face his wrath. I will kill you all." She is going to try and make one last, because her legendary action did reset, another lightning storm. But she can't see you. It says that she has to be able to see. Oh my gosh. She is going to release her ink cloud, which, fun fact, magical darkness, boom, envelops through the water and around this room. Adam, everything grows dark as you hear, "If I can't see, then neither will you." Boom. As you hear, "This is where you die." And that's where we're going to end today's session. Thank you all so much for playing. Thank you those later on for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.